Hey, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here and hopefully your favorite Darktide partner. Now, I haven't worked on Darktide for more than a month. I've mostly been doing Diablo 4 content recently, but there was a dev blog posted. And this most recent dev blog posted on the 3rd of August during the period where I was like super sick. It covered some very interesting stuff, which I'm interested in asking, is it enough to bring you back? Let's take a look at the changes, and then at the end of it, I'm going to, as you can see, I've got a Steam chart up there. We're going to take a look at the Steam numbers, and then I'm going to ask you whether or not you're actually going to come back for this next patch. The patch is, I think, going to drop soonish. I don't know when exactly. I don't have a date. At least as far as I know, they haven't put a date here, but they are preparing to launch it. Okay, so hopefully this month of August, they'll be launching it. There are 3 main topics: mission board, crafting, currencies, and resources. For the mission board, they are making changes to how the mission board generates their missions. And they're going to cover details further into the dev blog. But a high-level summary states that they're going to be introducing Maelstrom missions, which are a set of new conditions with a mixture of new modifiers and existing ones in many different variations. So most of them will be explained through a string of modifiers. For example, waves of specialists, hunting grounds, waves of mutants, players have 20% reduced ability cooldown. So basically, these are going to be like nightmare dungeons. Which you would have seen in Diablo 4 if you played that game. Basically, there'll be a number of different modifiers for that particular mission. Maelstrom missions should be approached with caution, as some of them can be quite challenging. Alright? As a reward for completing these challenges, both XP and Ordo dockets will have a higher payout than usual. They'll be accessible through a unique slot on the mission board, which is available at all times, so they're easy to find and try out. Nice. They're introducing an additional mission board for players that will consist of a set of high difficulty missions that will always have a condition applied to them. You must be level 30 to play these missions, and side note, the number of missions available for Auric level operations in the above screenshot could be subject to change, okay? This board will also support Maelstrom missions. A few of them will have unique condition variations that are inherent to the Auric level board. Okay, so this is like the next difficulty up from Damnation, practically. With the changes we made to the dynamic system, we have made the Auric level operations favor high intensity conditions. There'll be no low intensity conditions active in these missions. So it's basically a board for all the sweaty people. A sweat board. Okay? Quick play bonuses are now active, so if you choose to quick play, right? Basically, you may have to lend a helping hand by filling an empty spot on a strike team. This will mean that you get more experience, diamantine, plasteel, and ordo dockets whenever you quick play a mission instead. This should have been in the game right at the start, to be fair. But okay, at least it's getting introduced now. Matchmaking and server selection. Basically, you can choose the server you want to matchmake to, because some servers don't really have a lot of people. Quite frankly, this ties into the number of people, if you look at the Steam chart, playing Darktide, and it may be quite difficult to get a match if you're not on a more populated server. So this might help things, but it also seems like a bit of a, like, I really wish that they had done this early on so that we could have just, played with our friends in a middle ground server. Like, that would have been nice, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, I mean, there are 2 ways to look at this. One from the perspective that, hey, they're changing it so that, people can just choose a populated server, go there and enjoy. But the other thing is that, does this kind of indicate low player numbers as well, with some servers practically dying out? If that is the case, that does kind of match the Steam charts picture that we're seeing. Okay, changes to the dynamic system of the mission board. The mission board on the Morningstar shows the emergent threats throughout Tertium High. Functionally, these threats are uncovered by the board through use of two systems, a dynamic system and an event-driven system. The dynamic system generates content based upon a set of rules. Meanwhile, the event system acts as an overriding system that will then substitute its rule set over the dynamic one. We have made several changes and added functionality to the dynamic system to give much more refined controls over the content generation. The dynamic system refreshes far more frequently, approximately every 10 minutes, and we can now set an individual weighting to each condition per difficulty level. For you, the players, this will mean a more varied amount of conditions available across the mission board. There is also now control for us to weigh certain conditions for certain difficulties differently. As an example, you will see much less frequent occurrences of low intensity conditions on Damnation, while lower difficulties like Uprising will have less frequent occurrences of high intensity conditions. The intent is for new players to have a smoother experience at the start while also providing a challenge to advanced players with harder conditions. Our aim in these changes is to refine the emergence aspect of the mission board with further variety and the ability to adjust the board as needed. Crafting. Now let's talk crafting and some of the upcoming changes that you can expect. Item refinement is now changed so that you can just pick the perk you want, which they should have had at the start and which everybody complained about and now they fixed. So now you can just literally pick the perk you want and just pay a flat cost, which we suggested many times. You can now modify any two things for items. So for example, you can choose one blessing, one perk, or two perks, or two blessings to modify, up to you. All right, but you still cannot modify everything you want. You can read the dev blog for yourself. Link is in the description, but again, this does not give full agency to the individual, and that to me is no good. It's a step in the right direction. But quite frankly, if you want to really see the numbers go up, give us full control, because there's no game where I don't have full control. Like, sure, I might have to do millions of dungeons in Diablo 4 to even get the good loot that I want. But once I have the good loot, more or less, you know, I can get the changes I want. I can put the aspect that I want on it. It feels very much more customizable than Darktide does. So I'm just going to be honest about that. This is no good in my opinion, and it needs to be better. We should be able to get everything modified, okay? Because we're already paying the cost in Plasteel. It's not like we're not spending the time farming the materials. Let us just do our thing, because the stats are already still RNG. There's no way to improve these. So you're still giving me RNG layers, just that I've got a bit more flexibility in picking my two. So if I've got two good blessings but two crappy perks, I can get both perks maxed out, but then my blessings are stuck. Yeah. So it still adds a lot of RNG to the game. Changes to curios. Basically, we can change two things on the curios. This change is very positive because curios, unlike weapons, are not blessing based. They're purely perk based. So being able to change two things is really good. I'm down for that. I am thoroughly down for that. Okay. In terms of currencies and wallets, basically they're gonna just give you the long story short. They're just gonna have a shared account based wallet. Yeah. So each character will have an individual wallet it'll show you like something like this, but realistically speaking, it'll all be just added to the account and it won't be a problem. Okay. So that is the thing, and I think that is probably a positive change, because it might actually give me the motivation to play my Zealot, since I literally had no motivation to, you know, gear up my Zealot. I can actually just farm for my Zealot on my Veteran or on my Psyker, which were the two characters that I played most. Okay, that's about it. In general, the only thing, so there is a date. It's mid-August. So since August is a month with 31 days, I think we can expect it around the 16th, 17th, 18th, around there. That period, that sort of period. Yep, they're going to drop this patch. So my question to all of you viewers out there is, what do you think? Based on what you've seen here, are the changes enough to bring you back to Darktide? How is Darktide looking right now? Well, right now the server is clearly having some kind of issue, which it had last Friday. Now is Tuesday and it's having another issue again. So please, this 218 is not representative of the conditions. Rather, this month we've seen the average fall further to about 2.5k average for this month. Not very encouraging, but there are like devoted, loyal base of people playing, but quite frankly, things are not encouraging even after the dev block. So the question that I have to ask is, are you coming back or not? Because if you're not coming back, you know, I can kind of understand it from the perspective that there are a lot of games that are coming out that are really, really excellent. I mean, we've got Remnant, Baldur's Gate. I can't even play these because I don't even have the time to do that. Diablo 4 eats up all my time right now, and I've got other partnerships that are coming down the line as well. For those of you that are not aware or do not keep up with the news on my channel, that's okay. I do have a lot of other partnerships coming my way, so I've said as much. You know, openly to the developers as well. I genuinely will not be returning to Darktide until I see a much larger player base, because stream numbers have to be large enough for me to be willing to even stream the game. And right now, with the player count so low, things are not really very encouraging. So we do probably need a pickup in the player base, and that's, like, I guess, the big question to ask: are you coming back? Are these changes enough to bring you back to Darktide? All right, that's what I want to hear from you. Leave a comment if you're interested. If not, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But, you know, I also understand if you don't, because I'm mostly focusing on Diablo content right now. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you Darktide peeps will have a good one. Okay? Now, allow me to thank my top supporters this month. Honestly, I also have to say that the community for Diablo is a lot more generous than the Darktide community was back when I was streaming Darktide. Here are the top supporters that I have for Diablo. My top tipper, Big Chungus. Top tipper list, Jason Leaving, MjRiffle. Top super chatter, Big Chungus and Ender are tied right now. Top super chatter list, Marcos Carrillo, Juan San, Mike Cawthorn, Daryl Neo, Raised Reality, MjRiffle, I'm Not That Guy. Top channel membership gifters, Big Chungus is our top gifter with 50 gifted channel memberships. Our highest channel membership gifters, Mike Cawthorn, Newbie, and Boog Slugus. Our cosmetic sponsors for Diablo, Sinner, Nightshade, Newbie, Big Chungus, thank you guys so much. And our top channel members as well. Let me see, who are my top channel members? Pulling up the list right now. Starting right at the top, we have Big Chungus at the only fan level. We've got Death Dawning 982 at Plus Ultra. We've got Jerry Fast, OG, Rogue Assassin, Zach MG at Prestige. Thank you guys so much. In terms of our honored robots, we've got Juan, Corey Ryu, Marcel, Kaishiwa, Bob John, Maxim Lotz, Devin Lashin, Mookie Mocha, Rena, Chase Taylor, Nathan Strong, Nightshade, Lady Neo, Joey Danze, Che D12, I'm Peep, Syed Assad, Coda CMF, Kami SMH, Conrad C, Nate the Great, and Benjamin Savage. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Catch you later.